Good morning, and welcome back to our channel. We really like having you here with us, and we really enjoy the discussions. So, my greetings to everyone to our YouTube live show, and this is great. This is love is not judgmental. We're not trying to judge anybody. We're just trying to relate, and that's a good thing. So, today we're going to dive into a very crucial discussion about age gap relationships, but specifically what older men should look out for when dating younger women, but also what younger women should look out for when they are dating older men. I mean, this is important. Yes, so it's caution in an age gap relationship. That's our discussion. So, in this format, we've actually broken it down into 8 key aspects that we will be exploring in depth and how we can help both sides equally to balance this equation to navigate their relationships successfully. So, and this is important because I was pretty much raised up with a thinking that if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. You may have heard this expression, but related to a relationship with someone that you are emotionally attached to and that you would like to spend the rest of your life with. I mean, a lot of times we use this expression when it comes to making money. Well, how about making success in a relationship? So, yes, if you don't plan, then you're planning to fail. I mean, that's just how life works. And so, we're going to put this format together in a way that it's innocent, it's also intriguing, but very beneficial. So, listen up. So, first and foremost, when it comes to a love interest, you want to find someone that you have common interests. I mean, that's vital. You don't want to pick a person that's a stranger to you. And we're not making rules. And like I always say, I don't have all the answers, but I do have my opinion based on 55 years of experience in life. When it comes to common interests, and when we say common interest, it's like TV is a common interest, all right? TV, going to the movies. But to be specific with those interests, what type of movies do you like to see? Or what do you like to see on TV? We generally think men just like sports. Me, I'm not a sports guy, so I'm not particularly interested in that. I do like a good love movie. All right, so that's a common interest with the women. We expect women to like love movies, but I do know some women that go, I don't like chick flicks. They like the horror, they like the action packed, the adventurous type movies. So you have to find the details when we make the statement common interest. You got to look in the details to see what pulls you, what's driving your partner, so that you can actually get along at a much higher level. I mean, you want to be balanced in this regard. So we'll be discussing things like this. I mean, it might be hobbies. I mean, that's one of the very like things that's very different for people, hobbies. Like me, I'm a computer techie guy, but there are also many women that computer techie people. But there are also some women that like to do beads. But guess what? There are guys that like to do beads and make jewelry too. So there are people out there that have the same shared interests you have, but you only can get to that if you have effective communication. You want to bridge the gap of the age gap that's shared between you and your partner by this meaningful connection. And we will talk about communication probably in every one of our discussions because communication is what we're doing on our YouTube Live. But communication, that's just the basis for how you get to know a person. I mean, you've got to talk, but it's got to be open and honest. And communication is very healthy for a relationship. A lack of communication, let me tell you, that's one of the worst things that can happen. And I don't mean people that are just not very conversational. I talk a lot. So that's me. I can talk for days. I would not expect a woman to be able to keep up with my level of talking because I can talk continuously nonstop. That's why I do YouTube lives. My whole world is about talking. I'm a consultant. I'm on stage. I give presentations. I have private businesses where I actually talk to people one on one. I'm talking literally 16 hours a day every single day, and sometimes it's 18. A few times it's been as much as 20 hours a day. That's what I do, and I love it, right? So you have to find people that share the not necessarily the same values. You do want to do that also, but in this aspect of it, the communication, you just want people to know who you are. I mean, I went through life for years not realizing that I was not communicating well with my friends. They didn't know what kind of work I did. It was almost like I was Tommy on the Martin show. No, nobody knows what Tommy did on the show. They just knew he had a job, he had some money, but nobody knew what it was. And I remember one episode, Martin says, "Tommy, what do you do?" And he just smiled and he started talking about something different. So that was kind of like me for a while with many of my friends. They just didn't know what I did to make a living because I didn't talk about it. So they couldn't bond with me. They couldn't form an attachment with me about income status or anything. So that's what I'm saying when it comes to the communication, it's the other side of the word. See, we can say words like foundation, but what's on the other side of the foundation? When we say communication, what's on the other side of the conversation that you're looking to have? And see, once you get the communication down, then you can set some goals, life goals. You can find out what's the person really interested in because now you know how to talk their language. See, if they kind of like, some people are just shy, they don't talk a lot. But if you give them time, you put some patience in there, they're going to actually open up because you can only be quiet but for so long. And they may make mention of some of the things that you do. And as a result, they're going to continue to share with you what's really in their minds. And so expectations is a very key thing that you want to look out for. So already we've hit three things and we're still dealing with the third one. So we've already talked about having things in common, common interests. We just talked about the value of communication a little in depth. But now, when it comes to life goals, see, this is a big deal. This is what's going to determine where you are in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years with your partner. These are things that have to be spoken about. You have to understand each other's life goals and those expectations. This is a crucial part to a relationship. And let's explore this for a moment. Let's imagine you don't know what your partner's goal is, but let's say in your partner's mind, they want to retire at 40. This is the only job they've had. They've been working it since they were like 17 years old. So when they retire, they're going to have 23 years of retirement benefits. Now, what will they do? What will you be doing when they're home collecting a retirement check? And we assuming they're going to be making some pretty good money. But what will you be doing? Will you still be working? Will you be okay with your partner when they're 44 years old, 45 years old, 46 years old? They home playing Xbox because they were able to retire early, and you may still be out there working. So that's why we ask these questions because they can become very sensitive when we find ourselves not compatible. There's nothing wrong with retiring early. Retiring early is a bonus, it's a benefit. A lot of people in private businesses have goals to retire at 40, 40, 45. Why? Because traditionally in the United States of America, a lot of people don't retire today like in their late 60s, 70s, and 80s. What can you really do with your life then? So that's why knowing the future, understanding the life goals, like what are their interests? Do they want to start a business? Do they want to be an employee forever? What are their expectations? What's going on with their health? Things like this. All these things matter and these are things that you need to think about as a man in regards to your relationship with a woman. What is it that she may want for you? And these things are important when you think about a younger woman dating an older man. Like, what are you thinking about for him? I mean, it's vice versa. So you have to be open and honest enough so you can go in these directions. But at the same time, you have to respect each other's boundaries. Boundaries are there for reasons. You will never ever know 100% of everything about another person, not even yourself. So, boundaries are keys to relationships. So, let me give you an example of something that happened with one of my clients last week. So, the young lady is married. She's married. Her husband's older. But about 4 years ago, she was dating another man before she met her husband. And that relationship, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. She sees him in the grocery store. Unexpectedly, she's the woman's in the grocery store with her husband. He's off in the meat section. She's in the produce section. And while in the produce section, she runs into her ex-boyfriend. So they see each other. They left the relationship on great terms. And, they're friends. Walk up, give each other a hug, no big problem. The husband finds himself around and he comes up and he sees his wife and, no big deal. I mean, his wife's allowed to have friends. And the guy offers to buy their groceries. Instantly, the husband is upset. I mean, he's really like annoyed at this particular time because why would he even do that? Because it seems like he's saying that the man, her husband, can't take care of her, so he's going to step in. Not to mention that he himself is married to another woman. So he actually reached out his hand after saying he'll pay for the groceries and seeing the rejection, the wife saying, "No, no, no, that's okay." He actually extends his hand and says, "You know what? I used to date your wife. I was the one that could have married her before you." How rude is that? So obviously, this negativity thing is like taking hold of the mind of this older man while he's watching this foolish man saying all kinds of silly things. Anyway, he leaves. He goes back and, he's looking for stuff because he's a little annoyed and it's kind of obvious. So the wife says, they go to the line that is his wife with this previous boyfriend. He buys the groceries anyway. So when the husband finds out about this on the way home, he feels greatly disrespected. He is really, really mad. Now, what does this have to do with boundaries? Well, this is a woman who's been married to her husband now for several years. She should actually understand his levels of sensitivities. I'm sure these conversations may have came up, but if they didn't, this is why open, honest communication is important. So he's upset. He calls his family, he calls her family. Both families are all upset and they're fussing at her, saying, "You should have never done that. You should have put that man in place. You really let a man buy groceries for your husband to eat?" The man don't even want to eat the groceries. So that's why we said boundaries. Sometimes you may have partners that are sensitive to your former relationships. After all, these are people you may have been with emotionally and connected physically. Your partner now does not even want to consider that this is a person that was a possibility. And these things can be quite frustrating. So you need to know these things. These are parts of conversations that you would do good to have. So this is what we would call an escalation to dealing with generational differences because sometimes in the modern world, people are just expected to have been with tons and tons of people. But older people may not always have had those type of situations. So this generational difference has to do with a lot of your upbringing, your history, your values that we spoke about earlier that we're now coming back to, your cultural references, and often all of this plays into the age gap. See, you're going to see things differently as a younger one than an older man is going to see. You're just not going to see everything the same way. So you have to show respect. Yes, going back to boundaries, you have to show respect for how your partner feels. I mean, if you don't do that, you just open Pandora's box up for more troubles. So, where do people generally go? Well, just like in that story that I told you, a true story, by the way. The husband, so angry, so upset, he went to his family. But not only that, he even went to her family. So, these are things that you have to look out for. Like, this is how it works. If you have a problem with your husband, now, this with women, this is what happens. Let's say the woman has 5 friends. So she's got 5 friends, 10 friends, and she's got a problem with her husband, her man. Her 5 friends are going to protect her, not him. They're gonna protect her. Now, if a man has 5 friends, 10 friends, doesn't matter how many friends he has, and he has a problem with his wife, his woman, his 5 friends, 10 friends are going to protect the woman. You know why? Because women are valuable. Women are valuable, powerful, and women offer really the true stability within a family and within a relationship. Because if men just take a step back and just listen to the concerns that a woman is putting out there, he might learn how to navigate the wealth of his relationship with her to the benefit of him and her. So family is everything. Family is everything. And the woman needs to be protected because that's what the man's job is. And he needs to be a part of a family that thinks this way. And that's what the woman needs to be thinking about when she picks a man. Like, will his family look out for me? What happens if something happens to him? Who's taking care of you? Not to mention that in the modern world, yes, we respect and understand that many women can financially take care of themselves. But in age gap relationships, it's still a matter of concern. And we're not talking about financially only, we're talking about emotional. We're talking about support with the children. If you have children, who's going to step in and help? And see, that's what we're talking about. When the woman needs help, everybody's there to rescue her. But who's there to rescue the man? The woman, because you've got all this support now. So you're going to take all this support, all this energy that's just been put into your lap, into your situation to help you out. And you're going to take that and you're going to give it to the man. So what happens to the woman in the story we told you earlier? She got to get on her knees and kneel and beg her husband for forgiveness. She's going to take that energy she's got from all those people involved and she's going to apologize. And she's got a reference marker in her mind that this is a situation that will never happen again. Now, why is this important? Because family matters. Families do matter. And families, that there's a caution with families. See, you gotta make sure you pick a woman, you're also picking a family. Now, family is the number one reason why relationships fall apart. The number one reason. No, it is not adultery. No, it is not a cheating mate. It is family interference. Because sometimes people pick families that are just not level-headed people, and a problem breaks out, and everybody gets divided. Well, guess what? If her family goes this way and your family goes that way, y'all done. That's generally what happens. So that's why I was saying the male, his friends, his family, they're going to be pushing for her. See, they already got his back, but now they're going to actually step up to get her back. And that takes us to handling judgments. You know, you got to be a level headed person. You got to be the type of person that can make a decision sometimes on the fly to the benefit of your relationship. It's a strategy. You're going to have society, you're going to have people, you're going to go out. I remember, I didn't realize I was in an age gap relationship in my previous marriage, but I was surprised one day. I was out and my wife, extremely gorgeous, very beautiful woman, and I was out with her, and I think our youngest son was about 6 years old, so his older brother was about 11, and we're walking through the neighborhood, and an older gentleman says, "Oh, you're having a great day out with your wife?" I mean, he didn't say my wife. He said, "You're having a great day out with your daughter and your grandkids." He said, "Oh, you guys look so nice." You know what? All I said was, "Thank you." I said, "I appreciate that." I said, "Listen, sir, you have a nice day too." He doesn't know me. I've never even seen this gentleman before. So what we extrapolated from that situation was that in society, people's minds are trained to think a certain way. You can't change it. So you can roll with it. He didn't say anything negative. He didn't say anything bad. He didn't say anything that I needed to put a defense for. I made a judgment call to be polite, and so did my wife at the time. And that's how you overcome the stereotypes. You don't have to deal with it because the relationship is you and her. Now, I've only shared that thought maybe twice, and that was something that probably happened. My son's 6, so 13, 14. That was about 14 years ago. Now, the last thing that we want to share is the power dynamic. This can be a challenge for both men and women. See, we're talking about things that you need to think about when dating a younger woman. The caution. This unfortunately happens. Sometimes when women make their own money, they feel a sense of power and entitlement. and they will break all the rules. Not all women, some women, right? And you know what I'm talking about. But then men in the power dynamic are expected to make the money, take care of household. But power dynamics go different ways. When someone's not feeling well, where's the power dynamic? The woman. People expect the woman to be the nurturer. When the children need help, who do people expect to give that assistance? Naturally, the mother. Not saying that fathers don't. I'm a father, love to take care of my kids. My son lives with me now. So that's how we roll. But the point is, you've got to respect each other's position in the family. So if you're a woman that works in the family, don't try to take power away from your man because men need that. It's not wielding power. It's the kind of power that he wants to use to benefit you, to protect you. So don't take him out of his game of being your protector. And men, when there's problems in the family, listen to the voice of your wife. Listen to her. She's a powerful vessel. She's a part of your arsenal. She's a part of your future. She is the dynamic. She is the engine. She is the power. And you can use her to benefit your life in every direction. Remember, every time a man gives a woman something, she in turn takes it, but she gives him back more. We've heard this many, many times. I grew up hearing that expression. So don't be afraid to take of what you have, even your power men, and give it to the woman. She can make great decisions too. You don't have to make every decision. You may be responsible under a biblical headship arrangement to get final say. But that's your right. Now, if you want to go through life exercising your rights all the time, you're not going to find a lot of joy in that. So, what you want to do is to actually respect the fact she can pick a great restaurant for you guys to eat. She can pick the next vacation spot. She can pick the next furniture or whatever it is, or something for the house or possession, whatever. She can even pick the house that you guys will live in. She has abilities. I'm sure you didn't marry a dummy and you wouldn't think of her that way. You married a very intelligent, powerful, powerful woman. So that powerful dynamic can take you a lot of ways. So listen, folks, this has been great. Now, to sum up and to get a few takeaways from each section, let's wrap it up this way. Let's remember the importance of common interests, communication, life goals, respect, boundaries, handling generational differences, introducing your partner to your family. We will always talk about that. And dealing with judgment and maintaining a balanced power dynamic. Now, let me tease you a little bit about what our next episode is about. Tomorrow morning at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, we'll continue our discussion about age gap. How about age gap relationships? But we're going to be talking about what dating a younger woman really means to an older man. Let's get into the mind of an older man. So, what dating a younger woman really means to an older man. Trust me, you do not want to miss out on this. So, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my opinions with you. They're just my opinions, not anything you have to live your life off of. But it's just an insight. We're just trying to be insightful. So don't forget to like and share if you enjoyed this. Send a copy of this to a friend. Definitely subscribe to our channel. Help our channel grow. And we have a lot of people that watch these videos on our channel. We have over 600 videos on our channel, and we get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views on a daily basis. We want you to continue to be a part of our community. And we want to continue to provide with you good information, whether it's a live or a video that we just throw into the mix. So keep growing with us, and we'll see you on the next video. And we'll see you on the next video. It's one of those spots. I just don't know which one it is, but we'll see you the next time. Listen, thanks for your time, and remember this.